Been staring at the 2025 Red Zone film for 6 hours, and I keep coming back to the same three-step sequence that defies every law of physiological regression I've ever studied. When most athletes hit that mid-30s wall, you see the tilt, the slight hitch in the break, the loss of vertical tension, the way they start to round off their stems because the twitch just isn't there. But I'm looking at the tape and I'm seeing a player who has figured out how to replace raw velocity with a psychological masterclass in spatial manipulation. It's not just about running a route anymore, it's about the way he uses his eyes to manipulate the deep safety's feet, forcing a hesitation that creates a 3-yard cushion where there should only be inches. This isn't a decline. It's an evolution into a pure, tactical apex predator of the middle of the field. I am Daniel, and today we're going deep into the film room here at Red Zone Kingdom to break down the surgical precision that defines the 2026 outlook for the league's most cerebral tight end. I've spent the last week dissecting the money downs, those high-pressure third and longs where the defense knows exactly where the ball is going, yet they still can't stop it. I noticed something specific about the way he's navigating sticky coverage. In the 2025 tape, even when a nickel corner is plastered to his hip, he's using a basketball-style post-up technique that is frankly unfair. I see him sinking his weight at the top of the route, using his frame to shield the ball like a power forward boxing out for a rebound. It's the physics of the frame. He's not trying to outrun the coverage with a 40-yard dash sprint. He's out-leveraging the coverage by understanding the geometry of the open window. I see him leaning into the defender's chest, feeling the center of gravity shift, and then pop. He creates that separation at the exact microsecond the ball is released. That kind of chemistry with the offensive flow isn't something that just disappears with age. I honestly believe the reason I'm seeing such sustained dominance is because of his scrumming ability. When I watch the film on the dirty yards, those short area gains where you have to move piles, I see a level of gritty determination that most veterans would have traded in for a retirement speech by now. I notice that his ball security remains elite, even when he's taking hits in the seam from high-low bracket coverage. He has this uncanny ability to absorb contact and somehow stay upright, churning the legs for those explosives that come after the catch. It's not about a 60-yard bomb, it's about a 12-yard stick route, where he carries 2 defenders for an extra 4 yards to move the chain. That's the kind of situational football that wins championships, and I don't see a single drop in that competitive fire on the 2025 tape. I've been analyzing the geometry of his breaks, and it's like watching a master architect at work. When I compare his 2026 projections to past legends at the position, most of them became statues in their final seasons. They became red zone-only threats. But I'm looking at his movement patterns, and I still see the fluidity in the hips. I see a player who can still scheme open, because his understanding of defensive zones is so deep that he's essentially a coach on the field. He knows exactly when a linebacker is going to pass off the coverage, and he sits in that dead space with a level of patience that younger players simply don't possess. I see him stemming his routes vertically, forcing the safety to respect the deep shot, and then snapping it off with a violence that proves the tape doesn't lie. The twitch is still there. Let's talk about the physics of his durability. I've noticed a change in how he handles the loading phase of his movements. He's become much more efficient with his steps. Where a younger player might take 5 steps to change direction, I see him doing it in 3. He's cutting out the noise in his game. I noticed that he's become a master of the nuisance block, doing just enough to disrupt the defensive flow before slipping out into a route that catches the entire secondary off balance. I've watched countless hours of one-on-one matchups from this past season, and the win rate is still staggering. Whether it's a physical safety trying to jam him at the line or a speedy corner trying to trail him, I see him winning with scout-level technique. He uses his hands to wipe the defender's reach, maintains his path, and uses his shoulder to create the late-stage separation that defines elite tight end play. The situational context is where he really shines for me. I'm looking at the 2026 landscape, and I see a league that is getting faster and smaller on defense. Defensive coordinators are selling out for speed to stop the vertical passing game, and I notice that this trend plays right into his hands. When the defense goes light with more defensive backs, he becomes a physical mismatch. I see him punishing smaller defenders in the run game, and then using that same physicality to bully them on a crossing route. It's a cat and mouse game where he is always the cat. I've watched him manipulate the high-low reads where he essentially dictates where the defender has to commit. If they stay over the top, he's taking the under and turning it into a first down. My verdict for the 2026 season is that we are going to see a version of this player that is even more refined. I predict a season where the red zone efficiency remains at a career high level because his basketball style positioning has become a literal cheat code. I'm not worried about the age, I'm focused on the IQ. He's not just playing the game, he's rewriting the physics of the position, and I don't see that stopping anytime soon.